Hey everyone, welcome to my show. Be sure to hit like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch for all my exclusive content. Hello again, Fleet Commanders. Tiberius back with another quick video for you today. Now that the first of the Picard Beverly auctions has been completed, players are going to be unlocking these officers and gaining access to them if you didn't buy them. And I wanted to go over an officer in particular in the new Beverly Crusher from the Picard show. This is not the Dancing Doctor. This is a more advanced Beverly. If you've seen the show, you know how much more advanced. If you haven't seen the show, what are you waiting for? You're 4 episodes in already. Maybe you're one of those people who likes to wait until the end so you can binge watch all 10 episodes together, but you're missing out. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to give you any spoilers. This Crusher's different. This Crusher's ability kind of reflects that she's different, that she is a lot more aggressive, shall we say. And now, again, that the leaderboard event is over, which, yes, I did win my particular leaderboard, which is how I'm able to show you what Beverly Crusher does. I didn't buy her. I just upgraded everything that I've been sitting on for a while. And everything, and I do mean just about everything, in order to do that. So, what does Beverly Crusher do? She's been kind of getting mixed reviews, and I think that's because people might have underestimated just how good her ability is, or maybe think it might be a little too situational. And that's what we're going to showcase a little bit here today. Got some battle logs for you, as well as some different things that we'll look at, compare notes. You get the idea. So Beverly Crusher. Officer abilities, what we're talking about today. Increases critical hit damage by 3% every time your ship is hit by an attack while fighting non-armada hostiles, cumulatively. That's the big word there, is cumulatively. So some people are like, well, where does she fit in? If you're running, a standard officer build, or, you're not really going to necessarily slot her in to a lot of things. But with everyone still experimenting with the freebooters, the other new addition this month, we showcased a bunch of different crews in one of our earlier videos about that. She seems like she's a good fit. And it's because of this line right here of every time your ship is hit by an attack. And those freebooter guys shoot a lot each round. Now, weapons with multiple shots only trigger it once, but most of their weapons, they just have a lot of guns. Each gun fires once. So that's what we're going to look at there. Some people looked at this and said, oh, her critical hit chance goes up, so she's just like Khan, but Khan works better. Nope, you misread it. It's critical hit damage. Okay, well, damage. I'm using Gorkon. He gives hull breach. Hull breach is the 150%, 150% bonus to critical hit damage. That's what hull breach does. It's just a static ability. She's only given 3% every time she gets shot. I'm starting at 150. I'm clearly way ahead. And you're right. You are clearly way ahead. And if, it's a shorter fight, Gorkon, probably going to work out better for you. But if it's a long enough fight, and the fight goes enough rounds, much like a good old-fashioned arm wrestling match, where Gorkon is kind of putting it to Beverly nice and early on, she slowly starts to do that thing where she comes back over the top and smashes him to the mat. And to prove that, let's look at a battle log. 3% each hit. 3% each hit. This is also her base 1 ability. This does scale up. But starting with level 1, day 1, Beverly Crusher, you just got her. Ignore this. This was all a PvP fight earlier. Somewhere down here. Here we go. So day 1, Beverly Crusher. This is an Ops 49 account. I used my Tier 6 Valdor. My dailies would require me to kill level 50s to complete my freebooter hostiles, and if I were using the sweeps to also complete my swarms and faction hostiles, I would have to kill level 50s. So this is what I should be hitting. And I used Spock, Strange New World Spock, to give me the maximum mitigation value that I can. Khan to improve my crit chance. So I get to that 100% guaranteed critical very early on in the fight. My Khan is tier 5, so he has a 5% increase. But even if your Khan is less, tier 3, tier 4, you're only getting a smaller percentage increase because these things shoot so many times. Again, you are getting to that much higher crit chance, much faster, and by round 4 or so, all of your shots should be criticals. And now we've got tier 1, day 1, Beverly Crusher, giving you a 3% increase. So let's look at the battle log. Right off the bat, Spock doing his thing, and we get shot our first time. And Khan gives me a 5% crit boost, and Beverly gives me a 3% damage boost. Hey, look, they shot me again. There they go again. Oh, this weapon shot me, and there they go again. This weapon shot me, and there they go again. So she went off 5 times in round number 1. So I just went up 15%. Still shy of that Gorkon, that 150, but we're starting to make some progress. All right, round 2. Again, cumulative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got hit 6 times that round. That's 18%. Now we're up to 33%. And again, 6 more times in the next round. I don't know why I only got shot 5 times in the first round. Must just be their firing pattern. Here we are, round 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 again. So it's been 18% for 3 rounds, 54% plus 15. So we're up to 69% through 4 rounds. So you see we're starting to snowball here. You kind of get the idea where we're going here. The fight goes 19 rounds. So if we say at this rate of progression, somewhere in the middle of the beginning of round 9-ish, somewhere before around round 9 is what we'll call it. It's probably like 1 or 2 shots before I get to round 9, but we'll round it up to round 9. The start of round 9, I'm at 150% crit damage, probably slightly higher, probably closer to 154. Then I get shot in round 9 a few more times, and now we're up into the 160s. And then by the start of round 10, now we should be up to like 180. You know, if we're gaining about 18% per round, 10 rounds, we're up to about 180%. Minus the one time I got shot in the first round, less 177 for all of you who like very specific numbers. So that's kind of that tipping point, round 9, round 10. If the fight's going longer than that, now you're putting out more damage per hit. We get down here, we start looking at some of these big hits. Round 9, round 10. We're critting for, these are critting for about 3 million apiece. Now we keep going a bit further, and now we're over 3 million, and by the end of the fight, these bigger shots here, these are up to 3.7 million. Now we're up to almost 4 million. And by the time the fight ends, we are over 4 million. And here we are again, now at the end of the fight. No big shots in that last round, but even the base shots are now over 2 million in damage. If I go back to the last time I had the big criticals here, the extra shots with the Valdor, because of its firing pattern here in round 18, we're looking at a little over 4 million damage. Okay. Those are pretty good shots. And again, 19 rounds is where the fight went. Is that better than Gorkon? And to show you that, we're going to go up a little bit. Now we swapped them out. Same ship, same crew. We're taking on same target. Go look at the battle log. This fight went 20 rounds. So again, as expected, here's you're hitting the hull breach. Now you're getting the bigger criticals. We give it a round or two to make sure that Khan's firing on all cylinders here. And now you've got 1.7 consistent criticals, and the big shots here are about 2.7 million right from the start, from the very early rounds of the fight. So Gorkon helping put out a lot more damage in the early stages of the fight, but this is it. This is all it's ever going to get. This is not going to get bigger. These numbers aren't going to change. Khan's giving me full criticals. Every shot's going to keep being a critical. Gorkon's giving me the hull breach. This is the damage with the hull breach increase. So these numbers are never going to get bigger as the fight progresses. So as we saw with Beverly, the numbers steadily improved the longer the fight went. At level 50, you can kind of say it's almost a draw. And if we go look at one of our favorite websites, which is currently back up and working, Spox Club. Let's try and do some comparisons here. I think it was this one. Nope, those are the 52s. That's not the one that I want. I apologize. Here we go. Here's the 50s. So here are the two level 50 fights. Beverly doesn't have an icon because she hasn't been updated into the account yet, which is why you also don't see her officer ability triggering. But this is taking into account the damage. So 20 rounds versus 19 rounds in terms of total damage done. I mean, obviously, we're both killing the hostile, so this is kind of a push. So really it would come down here in terms of damage taken. By finishing the fight earlier, I do get shot a little bit less. So there is a slight advantage, but I mean, in terms of hull damage taken, it's, 50 or 60,000. Actually, it's closer to 70,000. So it's not a huge difference. But these are level 50s. These are the things that I'm supposed to be fighting. What about if we take this up a notch? What about if we compare it to things that are a little bit bigger? That's not the one I want. Here we go. Here's the 51s. So these are slightly above what I need to kill. Slightly higher. With Beverly, 22 rounds. With Gorkon, 24 rounds. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a difference. Her extra damage output is helping to end the fight sooner. Again, damage done, not really all that relevant because we're kind of all in the same boat. We're killing the hostile, we're still successful. Total damage taken, however, is significantly less. I'm taking less shield damage, I'm taking almost 100k less hull damage. My mitigation is slightly lower because of Beverly's stats being lower than Gorkon's. But overall, we're saving about 100,000 hull health here. Let's take it up one more. Take it back 5 yards. Let's try it again. What do we got here with... Which one's the 52s? I think that's this one, right? Nope, those are the 53s. Clearly you can see where we're going to go with this. 52s. Alright, we're still successful in the 52s. This is the max hostile in that particular system. They go from 50 to 52 in that system. 26 rounds versus 29 rounds. Now we're doing a little bit difference here in terms of, again, damage. Total damage taken by finishing the fight 3 rounds faster. 3 rounds faster. 3 rounds faster. Now I'm taking almost 250,000 less hull damage over the course of the fight. So Beverly at basic tier 1 is performing better when trying to hit things that the fight is going longer than expected. She has some work to do. She starts overproducing against what Gorkon will, like we said, around round 9, round 10, somewhere in that range. But Gorkon's been putting out 150 for rounds 1 through 10. So even though she now is starting to put out more, it's going to take a while for her to come back over the top. So now we're looking at, what's that break-even point? 17, 18 rounds is kind of that break-even point. And then anything above that, Beverly is slowly starting to outproduce and make more progress and gain more against Gorkon. Now is the fight here. We're going 26 rounds. Again, we killed it, so damage is about equal. But it's the last one that I think is really going to highlight the difference. This is against 53s. This is moving up a system. This is something that's above my pay grade that I should be hitting with this ship of Aldor against a much higher level hostile. Both attacks failed. Let's just start with the obvious. Let's just start with that big one. The big elephant in the room, right? Both attacks failed. Here you go, right there. Gorkon. We took it. It has 574 million hull health. We got it slightly over halfway down to 284. Did Beverly do much better? Yes. Yes, she did. We still died, but she took it from 574 down to 93. So let's go look at the battle log comparison chart here. Both fights went 48 rounds because that's the round we died in. My hull, based on their damage, my mitigation based on Spock, we could only last 48 rounds in this particular fight. Damage done, however, because we died, is significantly different. Damage done with Gorkon, 522. Damage done with Beverly, 852. 330 million more damage is what she put out because of her ability exceeding and cumulatively stacking over the course of those 48 rounds. Hull damage given 290 versus 480. Again, almost, that's 191 million damage that's making it through to the hull on this target. That's impressive. And that can't be undersold here. Beverly clearly outperformed in this fight. Now, we still lost, because obviously we're hitting something that's a little too big for us. But she really did seem to, she impressed the hell out of me. Let's just say that. So, let's go back and let's look at the actual battle log here real quick with Gorkon. Again, our consistent shots. So let's just find where we get to about round 4, round 5 here. So our base criticals are around 1.6. Our bigger criticals, 327, 32. So we'll call this about 3 million a shot. Again, about what we expected to see. But what do we got with the big shots here? Again, 48 rounds. So the early rounds, she hasn't quite scaled up yet. Those basic criticals are right in here at about 2.4. And that's by round 4. We jump ahead. It's right around here at round 10. Now we're getting to about 3.3. So now we've caught up to and slightly started to exceed where Gorkon is. Now we're in round 20. Now we're over 4 million. 4 million. We're turning up the heat. Let's jump ahead to round 30 because the fight's still going. Now we're over 5 million. 5.5, 5.7. All right. This thing's just got a lot of hull health. Let's keep going. Round 40. What are we looking at here? Round 40. We're still critting every shot. 6 million, 7 million, 7 million. And by the time we die here, I think it's going to be like around 47, 46. The Valador's still charging. Round 46 here, 7 million, 7.3, 7.3 is the last time I get the big shots off. The regular base shots are over 4 million apiece instead of, where we started at about 1.7. So she has significantly increased my damage round after round after round throughout this fight. And if we bring back up the battle log comparison, you can see it again sort of showcased here in terms of damage output. 330 million more total damage done. Obviously some of that was mitigated. Only 190 million of that made it through to the hull. But we put 190 million damage more onto this target. And this is Tier 1 Beverly. This is Tier 1 Beverly. We check out our other favorite website, stfc.space. Critical conditions, she starts at 3%. If you can tier her up, you see this growth here, 4%, 5%. You know, if we're getting shot 6 times around, we're getting an 18% increase. Now suddenly this becomes a 24% increase. Now it becomes a 30% increase here by tier 3. A 30% increase per round. That's only 5 rounds now before we're outperforming that hull breach. And that's Gorkon, 90% triggering all the time, right? Because hull breach is just a static ability. It's a static calculation where Beverly's going to improve. And the more you improve her, the faster your damage is going to improve. If I got her to Lieutenant Commander, I've effectively doubled her percentage. So those round 48 hits where I'm hitting for 7+ million per round, I would be hitting for that in round 24 instead. I would cut the time in half that I need to get there. And she would be hitting significantly harder. Now, she's a brand new officer. Sourcing for her is going to be limited. That's just a given. We've got a couple officer events this month. We've got a few officer shards for her in the battle pass. But they're not too many here. You've got 5 in the top row. And if you paid your $20, you've got 3 and another 8 there for 11 more. That's 16. They gave you 2 at the start, which is 18, I think. And she takes 38 to unlock. So chances are you're going to have to perform at least decently well in one of these type of auction events or multiple of these events. If you pick up, 7 here, 11 in one, somewhere in this range. Yeah, maybe by the end of the month you'll have cumulatively acquired enough shards to at least unlock her, and now you can see what she can do when you get that accomplished. But if you are able to tier her up, you're really going to see more of her benefits. And I think she's really going to catch some people by surprise with just how helpful and how useful she is. Again, seems very specific to freebooters so far. But what other targets could you use her on? Could you use her on Axion hostiles? All right, I'm curious. I'll bite. Let's swap ships, just in case I'm wrong. We'll do it live right now. I have no idea what's about to happen. We're going to swap ships. I'm going to take Spock off because Spock's not going to work in this situation. I'm going to add 5 of 11. I want her to give me the boost there. This is normally where I would use like Giorgio and Tal. And I would take my... And I'm trying to think what... Yeah, I think we'll just stick with Khan here. We'll just try and boost our critical hit chance. And let's see exactly what's going to happen. We'll make this a little faster. If I were doing this on a live stream, we'd have a little more time, but, this is a video. This isn't a live stream. I wasn't even planning on doing this part, so this is a good filibuster, right? All right, so normally I would go in here. We're going to go down a system. Let's go down. I've never been to this system. Let's go hit some 46s. I've never been here. Let's find out what happens. If I'm using Tal and Giorgio in 5 of 11, I go hit 49s. I kill 5 or 6 of them. My car goes full at 200K or 191, and I'm done. We've swapped ships. We're using a pylum. It's a little different. But it should still, in theory, showcase the same talent and ability. And if it lets people punch up without acquiring Tal, it could be a big win. Plus, hey, I get to unlock a new system. All right, so here we go. 1.2 billion, huh? I have no idea what's about to happen. How much hull health are we talking about? 1.06 billion hull health. It's a lot of hull health. Did I even kill it? Hey, I killed it. No, I actually didn't kill it. The fight went so many rounds, but I didn't kill it. Would you look at that? Ooh. Okay, so you still need tile for these fights. But I didn't die either. The fight went 100 rounds. I barely made a dent in this thing. And if you're asking why didn't I make much of a dent, I think the short answer is because of the way these things fire. Their firing pattern is drastically different. They're not putting out the same number of shots per round, and they only have a limited number of weapons, so this getting shot 4 times only counts as 1 weapon hit. So her ability and Khan's ability only trigger once off that attack. Now we move on to the next round. Their weapons are recharging. This one hits me, only a 3%. So clearly Apex Hostiles, not going to be a big enough benefit. Not worth doing here. So scratch that off the list. But what else is out there that you guys could find? Leave a comment down below if you found anything else that's worked with. Is this going to work against heavy traders? Probably not, because they don't shoot many times per round. What about swarms? Those kind of die pretty quickly. Eclipse hostiles, Jem'Hadar hostiles? Maybe. Or maybe she's just really only good for the freebooters. But she's very good for the freebooters, so there's at least that. Hope you liked the video. Thank you very much for watching this far. Look forward to seeing you the next time around, live on one of my Twitch streams 3 nights a week. Or maybe I'll just see you around the galaxy. Take it easy.